And now it's time for our Startup Nation segment, where we put the spotlight on Israel's budding tech scene. And today we have two special guests, Israeli CEOs, here to discuss their successful participation in a creative new competition called Get in the Ring. Now, thanks very much for being with us. We have here Lashem of Aquanos and Doron El-Grassi of FireLayers. Very much appreciate it. Well, now before we get started, I want to play a quick clip from this boxing-style competition that pits startups against one another. Before announcing a winner, the CEO that convinces the judges that his own startup idea is the best. Let's see it.
Speak easy. You're welcome to the stage.
Any call and talk to anybody in the world and just speak your own language.
Now, Aquanos have developed an algae-based wastewater treatment technology that allowed saving of 90% of the energy consumption.
And the winner is Aquanos.
In this clip here, we showed Udi Lashem winning first place, but Doron, you also won in your own weight class. Tell us both, what was this competition like?
It was done in Rishon LeZion, 8 companies. We were getting on the ring, and each company had 30 seconds to give a pitch. And there were like 4 categories: heavyweight, middleweight, lightweight, and for students.
And of course, you won the heavyweight, right?
Yeah, we were in the heavyweight.
All right. And tell us also, what was your experience like on this competition?
Yeah, we won the middleweight, and it's all based on evaluation. And it's, it's kind of a unique experience because when people are going to pitching competition, but this is one-on-one when you actually have to compete. So close to sport. It's not really sport competition, but it's closer because you really have a competitor that you're facing against.
It's a startup competition here.
Yeah.
And what do you end up winning? What's the ultimate goal?
Well, now we're going to compete in the European Championship, and if we win the European Championship, we'll go to the global competition, and after this, I don't know, maybe the Galactic, or I don't know where it ends.
It's PR.
All right, well, tell us a bit about your companies.
So, FireLayers, we are a cybersecurity company. We help organizations to migrate to the cloud. If you know, there are cloud applications that are being used today, like Salesforce, Office 365, Google Apps, and there is nothing between the organization and those cloud applications. Any employee can use its own mobile device or use his laptop from home to access data, corporate data. And we are here to help organizations to move to the cloud in a secure way.
Interesting. And what about yours?
Yeah, we're doing wastewater treatment. Obviously, wastewater treatment is something that's very needed as part of our modern infrastructure. But the current process for wastewater treatment, which is a 100-year-old process, is very energy intensive. So we developed a new process that is based on algae instead of mechanical means, and we can save up to 90% of the energy cost in the process.
All right. Well, what does this really unique competition here signal and perhaps even represent about the startup nation that we see here in Israel, in your view?
Well, going to a startup competition in Israel, it's always very challenging because there's so many great companies, and you hear all these companies, and you want to hear more, and you want to find out more, because each one of the companies who made it to the finals, and I'm sure the other companies who didn't make it have great ideas, and a lot of them have great pitchers who can also present this idea in a very convincing way. So it was very interesting and very challenging to be part of this competition here in Israel.
What is your approach or view?
So I come from the cybersecurity space. The talent in Israel, everybody knows. There's a lot of talent around cybersecurity, and I think it's a good representation, by the way, having clean tech, cybersecurity. There was another mobile app, and another homeland security company that will represent Israel. I think it's a good mix.
And the next stop here, you're going to Athens. Yeah. What do you expect to come about there? Do you think the competition will be as fierce?
Yeah, I'm sure, because it's only winners from every country, so I'm sure it's going to be a fierce competition.
And from there on, the winner, where did they go?
Colombia.
All right, so it's very international here.
Yeah.
So that's typical here. Israeli startups getting a lot of notoriety on the world stage, you'd say?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. What else did you learn from this competition here that you might apply even to your businesses going forward?
Well, if you have to summarize your idea in a very, very short time frame, right, you have to really perfect your elevator pitch. Because usually when you meet people, you have time to explain. And not always when you have longer time, you give better explanations. Sometimes when somebody tells you, okay, explain me what you did in the last 4 years, right, of research and development, but you only have 60 seconds to do it, you really have to be precise.
Right. And just the last word, what's your view? What did you learn from this?
I think the same, giving a good pitch, preparing for a good pitch, and presenting in parallel to the crowd and the judges.
Well, thank you both very much for being with us today. It was a pleasure. That wraps up our show today. Stay tuned here every day for all your global economic coverage. I'm Natalie Ehrlich at the Jaffa Port in Tel Aviv. Thank you very much for watching.